photography ever since I was little. I started with my first manual camera when I was 10 years old. And so I guess, you know, when you kind of have a little bit of a natural talent for something, you want to run with it. You want to explore it. And I went to an alternative school growing up, and they had an amazing dark room. So I was able to do all the yearbook pictures for all 120 students, and that's kind of where I did my first gig. So that's what got me just into loving it. And those were all portraits. And so that's what I love, is taking pictures of people. I'd have to say my biggest influences are probably Richard Avedon and Patrick de Montchalin. I love how their pictures are so dramatic. They're both fashion photographers, but they also at the same time seem to document people's true personalities in a very journalistic way, while still having like that awesome sense of drama that I love. Fashion is my one absolute top love in photography. I love it. It's like silent theater to me, you know? It's, you know, they always put it to music, but it wouldn't matter. It's the clothing and the models, they just speak for themselves. And I love fashion on location. Some of my favorite things to do are find amazing locations, especially things that aren't so pretty, you know, to the eye. The more grimy and dirty it is, the better. You know, anytime you put a beautiful woman in an evening gown in a kind of a grimy setting, it just takes on a different kind of beauty. So I love that. And I've actually found a way to work fashion into my bridal photography, my wedding photography, because fashion is such a strong background for me. I studied in New York for 5 years, and so that'll always trickle into my bridal. And a lot of my brides, they hire me specifically because of my fashion background. You know, I think all brides want to feel a little bit like a fashion model on their wedding day. They want to feel the prettiest ever on their wedding day. And so I often get, you know, kudos or praise for being able to add a little bit of a fashion concept. The industry is always changing. There's so much new technology always coming out, new computer programs and new equipment to play with, and I'm always learning new techniques. I try to always be a student at the same time that I'm the teacher, you know. I try to always learn from other photographers and read as many books as I can, and that keeps it really fresh on a daily basis. I'm always learning new techniques. At Spotlight recently, we opened up our doors to other photographers. So we now have a number of photographers. We're trying to kind of create a community of artists. And I think through that, it always keeps it fresh. We're always learning new things, new techniques from each other's work. You know, one of us will go out and learn something new and share it with the rest of us. The most challenging thing is definitely just figuring out what someone wants, you know, what they want their pictures to look like when they get them back. Everyone has a different idea in their mind of what they want their photos to look like. You know, mom and dad have something in their mind, a bride and groom have something else in their mind. So I try to really have as much of a consultation as I can with my clients. I'll often have them send me images that they love and that they think are beautiful. Regardless of who took them, it gives me what I call a storyboard. I like to create a storyboard for every shoot I do. That way I can really try to, you know, change the way I shoot to fit with the client's wants and desires. And that way everyone's happy at the end. Initially, when I started Spotlight, we did a lot of family photos. And then I had a few weddings that we did, and then my brides started coming to me for their maternity pictures when they had their first baby. So then I'm doing maternity pictures, and then I'm doing newborn baby pictures, and it hit me like a ton of rocks. I was like, well, if I do weddings, I'll be there at the beginning of their life together, and then I can become the family photographer, because that's what I really want. I want to gain a client for life, you know, a client that trusts me to document their whole family for as long as, you know, they're a family. I want to be there to take pictures and see the kids grow old and, you know, all that stuff. You know, you got to take pictures. They grow so fast. You got to take as many pictures when they're young as possible, because when they're teenagers, they won't want to come and take their pictures.
So you become a part of them creating those memories.
Absolutely. I mean, these days there's so many, you know, point and shoot cameras, and so many families are trying to do it on their own, but it's hard. Someone is always left out of that picture, you know? Either dad is taking the picture and he's not in any of them, or vice versa, but, you know, you want, sometimes it really helps to have an outsider come in and document, because they're going to be able to capture things that that someone else cannot. And yeah, I love that. I love being able to be a part of their memories that they create. So.